When we speak of Buddhist practice, we often think of sitting in meditation or chanting sacred words. Yet the true essence of Buddhist practice goes far deeper than these visible actions. It encompasses every moment of our existence through what Nichiren Buddhism calls the three actions: our thoughts, our words, and our deeds. These three actions form the foundation of all spiritual growth and transformation. This simple yet powerful analogy reveals the gap that exists between knowing and being. We might know that 100 million yen equals 10 times 10 million yen, but this mathematical knowledge alone cannot purchase anything at a store. Similarly, understanding the teaching that life is eternal does not automatically make this truth part of our lived experience. The challenge lies in bridging this gap between intellectual comprehension and actual embodiment of these teachings. Consider the Gosho passage that states, "When the skies are clear, the ground is illuminated." Similarly, when one knows the Lotus Sutra, he understands the meaning of all worldly affairs. This beautiful metaphor suggests that true understanding of Buddhist teachings illuminates every aspect of our daily existence. Yet how many of us can honestly say we live with this kind of clarity? How often do we find ourselves confused by life's challenges, despite our theoretical knowledge of Buddhist principles? The reality is that we frequently mistake reading about these teachings for actually practicing them. We might read a passage from the Gosho repeatedly, memorizing it word by word, and feel as though we have truly absorbed its meaning. Later, however, we discover that our understanding remains superficial, existing only in our minds and words, rather than transforming our actual behavior and experience. This is why the Daishonin emphasize that true practice must encompass all three actions simultaneously. To carry out the three types of actions means to bar evil and do good in each action we take, each word we speak, and each thought we think. This represents a complete transformation of our entire being, not merely an intellectual exercise. When we truly practice the three actions, we become different people. Our thoughts become clearer and more compassionate. Our words carry greater wisdom and kindness, and our actions reflect our deepest spiritual understanding. Another profound teaching from the Gosho states, "Buddhism is like the body, and society is like the shadow. When the body is crooked, so is the shadow." This metaphor reveals how our inner spiritual condition directly influences our external circumstances and relationships. Yet how often do we focus on trying to fix the shadow while ignoring the condition of our own spiritual body? We complain about problems in our families, workplaces, or communities while neglecting to examine and transform our own thoughts, words, and actions. The tendency to focus outward rather than inward represents one of the greatest obstacles to genuine spiritual growth. We see difficulties in the world around us and want to correct them, but we fail to recognize that lasting change must begin with our own transformation. When we straighten our own spiritual posture through the three actions, the shadow of our influence in the world naturally becomes more positive and beneficial. This principle connects directly to another essential teaching. One should become the master of his mind rather than let his mind master him. Far from being masters of our minds, we often find ourselves completely controlled by our earthly desires and emotional reactions. Our thoughts race from one worry to another, our words emerge without consideration of their impact, and our actions frequently contradict our stated values and beliefs. Becoming the master of our mind requires constant vigilance and practice. It means observing our thoughts without being swept away by them, choosing our words carefully to reflect our highest understanding, and aligning our actions with our deepest spiritual convictions. This is not easy work, but it represents the heart of Buddhist practice. When we observe our lives from this elevated perspective, we begin to see beyond immediate circumstances to deeper spiritual realities. Our thoughts become less reactive and more reflective of universal principles. Our words carry greater wisdom because they emerge from a broader understanding of life's purpose. Our actions become more purposeful because they align with our mission to contribute to the happiness and enlightenment of all beings. This transformation through the three actions is not merely personal, but has profound implications for how we relate to illness, suffering, and life's challenges. The Gosho Curing Karmic Disease teaches that there are 6 causes for illness, with the 6th and most deeply rooted being the effects of evil karma. When we fall ill, we typically consider only immediate causes and frantically search for medical solutions. While medical treatment is important, true healing often requires addressing the deeper karmic causes through transformation of our thoughts, words, and actions. This does not mean we should ignore medical care or believe that spiritual practice alone can cure all ailments. Rather, it suggests that genuine healing encompasses both physical treatment and spiritual transformation. When we align our 3 actions with Buddhist principles, we create conditions for both physical healing and spiritual growth. The practice of the 3 actions also reveals why obstacles and challenges arise in our spiritual journey. The Gosho teaches, if you propagate it through the doctrine of Ikinen Sanzen, devils will arise without fail. Were it not for these, there would be no way of knowing that this is the true teaching. As our practice deepens and our understanding grows, 3 obstacles and 4 devils emerge, competing to interfere with our progress. These obstacles do not announce themselves as devils or clearly identifiable problems. Instead, they lodge themselves in the weak spots of our faith, manifesting as doubt, discouragement, or temptation to abandon our practice. They might appear as thoughts that question the value of our efforts, words that express cynicism or complaint, or actions that contradict our spiritual commitments. Understanding this dynamic helps us recognize that obstacles are not signs of failure, but rather indicators of spiritual progress. When challenges arise, we can see them as opportunities to strengthen our practice of the 3 actions. Instead of being defeated by difficulties, we can muster sufficient courage and wisdom to overcome them, knowing that each victory deepens our spiritual capacity. The key to overcoming these obstacles lies in maintaining consistency in all 3 actions. We cannot simply think positive thoughts while speaking negatively about others or acting in ways that contradict our stated beliefs. True practice requires harmony between our thoughts, words, and deeds. When all 3 actions align with Buddhist principles, we create a powerful force for transformation in our lives and in the world around us. This integration of the 3 actions also reveals why superficial understanding remains insufficient for real change. We might understand intellectually that all life is interconnected, but if this understanding does not transform how we think about others, speak to them, and treat them, it remains merely theoretical knowledge. Only when our 3 actions consistently reflect our deepest spiritual understanding do we begin to experience the profound joy and freedom that Buddhist practice promises. The journey of integrating the 3 actions requires patience and persistence. We cannot expect to master this practice overnight or achieve perfection immediately. Instead, we must approach it as a lifelong process of growth and refinement. Each day offers new opportunities to align our thoughts, words, and actions more closely with our highest spiritual understanding. This daily practice gradually transforms not only our individual lives, but also our relationships and communities. When we consistently practice the 3 actions, we become examples of Buddhist principles in action. Our transformed thoughts, words, and actions inspire others and create ripple effects that extend far beyond our immediate circle of influence. The ultimate goal of practicing the 3 actions is not personal perfection, but rather the creation of a more compassionate and enlightened world. As we transform our own thoughts, words, and actions, we contribute to the larger mission of Kosen Rufu, the widespread propagation of Buddhist teachings for the happiness and peace of all humanity. The 3 actions become not just personal spiritual practices, but acts of service to all life. Every thought we align with compassion, every word we speak with wisdom, and every action we take with enlightened purpose contributes to the great work of human transformation and social healing. The practice of the 3 actions ultimately reveals that there is no separation between our inner spiritual life and our outer engagement with the world. When we truly embody Buddhist teachings through our thoughts, words, and actions, we discover that spiritual practice and daily life are not separate activities, but rather different aspects of the same enlightened existence. This integration represents the highest expression of Buddhist practice, where every moment becomes an opportunity for spiritual growth and service to others. Through the consistent practice of the three actions, we gradually transform not only ourselves, but also the world around us, creating the conditions for lasting peace, happiness, and enlightenment for all beings.